Hello and welcome to episode 132 of NOLA Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me, it's the guy that is probably not going to buy an Xbox, Mr. Joel Young.
Probably is being generous. There's a very minimal chance I'll buy one. I'll take one for free.
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing well, thank you. Life is going good. Excited for another weekend coming up here.
Yep.
More opportunities to game. Jump into some more PlayStation. I finished a game, and we're going to talk about that later on. Hopefully, now that this is done, I'll have some more time to jump into some other games that have been dropped on PS Plus, maybe The Last of Us, something else like that. Go in there
Cool.
and play that next. So we'll see.
Nice. Yeah, we'll talk about that in at the end. That with Clone Wars. So you guys been
Yeah.
warned. We are going into spoilers for the Clone Wars finale and Jedi Fallen Order, and that's going to be at the end of the show. Basically, that's going to be our what's up, and we're gonna do news first.
Yeah.
I myself don't have much of a what's up. Final Fantasy VII is still fantastic, so that's that. And yeah, so May the 4th, Joel, that was a date that
Yeah.
happened a couple of days ago, but we did get a couple of bits of information. Some good, some not too good,
Questionable.
some confirmations, and that we talked about it for the last couple of weeks. But Joel, let's go ahead and talk about all the stuff that they announced on May the 4th. Primarily, Taika Waititi will be directing a Star Wars film with, I believe, the writer for 1917.
That's absolutely right. She will be writing this story, and Taika will be directing this story. No more information than that. There's no other guidance than these are people who are working on a project. They did not say this is a trilogy. They did not say this is an existing character. They didn't say anything more than one movie, two people associated with it, and that's the tease. I mean, hey, it's May the 4th. We got some Star Wars news. I was hoping for some Star Wars news to drop, and that was some big ones to start off early.
Absolutely, really excited about this one. He directed probably the better episodes of the Mandalorian. Most of the episodes were good. I think there's a Dave Filoni episode there that was a little weird, a little cartoonish, but the ones that he directed, which was basically the two final episodes, if I'm not wrong, those were fantastic. I mean, they were well shot, and it was so great. So I'm usually I'll say I'm cautiously optimistic, but this is like I am genuinely excited for this thing, based on the work that he did in Thor Ragnarok, of course, Jojo Rabbit and all the other stuff that he's done. Um, I'm super excited, Joel. On the other hand, I am not very excited about a confirmation that we got about the supposed series that's coming out on Disney Plus, that female centric. That, I guess that's the word they used to describe it. Which, I mean, why not describe it as a show for everyone, and you have to just put a label on it. That's usually what gets me at the beginning. But then considering the baggage that the person associated with this project has, then I am a bit concerned. We'll see how this turns out, if it actually turns out at all.
Right.
I mean, that would be a big thing. But what are your final opinions on that, Joe? So we can just lay it to rest until we actually know more about the project.
So when I heard this, I mentioned it to you when we got the official confirmation on May the 4th. I mentioned to you, this is the announcement that we've been talking about, because I made it clear. It's like, guys, we haven't kind of announced this was it. This was the one confirming it.
Yep.
And so that's just it, right? It confirmed our fears. That's the only way you can put it. Like, we were fearful that maybe trying to give some benefit of the doubt. You know, when a reliable sources, I'm not saying they're unreliable. These were reliable places putting out the news of this lady's project with Star Wars comes out. I was like, maybe it's not exactly as it may seem. I still don't think it's entirely what it may seem.
Okay.
When I say that, I'm not saying that the project she's working on is that. I just think she what may have come out may be predated information, and considering the fact that we are in a situation
Oh, I
now
see.
where there is a lockdown, people can't go outside, very limited news traveling to this extent, I wouldn't be surprised if they were sitting on this and waiting for closer to May the 4th to put this out, and this lady is still being involved to the level that clearly putting out there. But if the project evolves, I mean, there's so many different projects that have happened with Star Wars where we were told one thing, like Solo Star Wars story, it's supposed to be more of a more comedic story. And then you watch the movie and you're like, this isn't that funny. And not that it wasn't funny, but I'm just saying, like, it wasn't like a hardcore, funny adventure. And it changed, it evolved. Obviously, new director comes in, whatever, right?
Yep.
I'm curious to see, considering the news that came out, if there's some background course correction that we just aren't aware of with Disney, because I made it clear to you, like, if what we have heard is true, there is no way this thing gets the green light. Like, there's no
Yeah.
way that Disney, it doesn't matter, like, they would come down, so you don't cross them that way. So I think I won't be surprised if there's definitely validity to the stuff we've heard, but I won't be surprised if it's evolved and it's going to change, and we're going to get another update later on.
Correct. Yeah, no, yeah. I agree with you. I mean, the rumors that we heard originally when I guess the story broke out may have been before everything was kind of ironed out and sort of a first impressions sort of thing. And if they actually went through with the official announcement, that means that they actually got clearance from the mobs
Right.
to actually announce it to everyone. And like what you mentioned, you could notice on the actual you know press communication that they put out there, the fact that this show was, I guess, pitched as a female centered thing is nowhere to be found. It's like this is going to be a new series,
Yeah.
and it doesn't really, like, they're really going away from that sort of messaging. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be enough for.
I mean,
I
it,
know
it
I
doesn't.
know man babies are out for sure, right? But I'm not sure if that's going to be enough for, say, someone more neutral like me to say, hey, I'm willing to check this out. I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure. So yeah,
I'll go as far as to say that the press release didn't even say it was live action, and it refers to
correct.
other things as live action projects, but it doesn't say that about this. I'm not saying that by any means that it's for sure not confirmed it's animated. No, that's no, low time's not breaking news like that. But I'm just saying, like, there's a chance that this thing has evolved to a place that maybe it was once going to be this thing, now it's going to be an animated thing. There's a short series. Not exactly sure what this fully means. There's a lot of things that quantify as series that we'll have to wait and find out, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm not. Yeah, it's. Whew, we'll see. You guys, if you heard the last two episodes, you guys know how we feel about this. I'm still not very confident in in this choice.
Yeah.
We've already moved to a vote of no confidence in Kathleen
Yeah.
Kennedy. Um, but that's us as Star Wars fans, and I know that most Star Wars fans out there, for sure, the man babies are they're done. I mean, they've been done since like 2015, so it's whatever.
Right. Right.
Um, but they've been done since 1999, since Jar Jar.
It's
Whatever.
true. It's
They're
actually
done.
true.
Yeah, exactly. They've been done for 21 years. I mean, I'm not done, so I'm good. I'm still here. Yeah, so I'm still here. Um, I would love. I saw a weird hashtag trending on May the 4th about inclusivity in Star Wars and whatnot, but it's Star Wars has always been inclusive and in the forefront of like strong
100%.
female leads and all this stuff, right? Um, I it's funny to me because these people are not the people that actually fund Star Wars, because the people like you and me that go to the movies once or twice for each movie, that buy the Blu-rays, buys the merchandise, we fund Star Wars, right? These people that start hashtags, they probably won't even go to the movie theater and watch Star Wars movie. So they're in it for just the trending and the hashtags and the whatnots. So
So a funny thing, right? And I don't think I sent this to you, but on I'm trying to remember if it was either the Lucasfilm or Star Wars Instagram, but anyways, associated with Star Wars, and they put out a post. It was a little while back from one of their books that more recently came out. A character, female character. She is she works for the Empire, right? She's I forget what her rank was, right? So put this picture out, and the caption is something along the lines. It's basically almost like praising her, like she rose through the ranks and worked really hard to become this amazing person in the Empire, and like whatever, almost like praising. And the comment section is great because they're just roasting it because they're just like, hold on a second, you do know the Empire are like the bad guys, right? Like
yeah,
you do know that they like they kill people and create Death Stars, and it's not.
yeah. Yeah, you guys are aware that that the Empire committed galactic genocide, right?
Yeah.
You know, they
Oh
wiped
man,
out races, they enslaved others,
they're not the good guys.
they killed an entire religion. Like, so you guys know that, right?
Oh man.
They actively hunted down people. Yeah. So yeah, great strong female presence there, Joel.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's not
But
good.
it's, guys, it's uh as again, if you've heard the show, if you listen to the show, if you watch the videos, I don't have a problem with Rey or Ahsoka or any other female character
Not at
in
all.
the Star Wars canon. Not at all, absolutely not. Jyn Erso, even Iden Versio and all these other female characters, I think they're great characters, and it's awesome, right? But it's like just because it's like it's like that the bounty hunter that trained Boba Fett. The chick with the long fingers, the bald headed. I forgot her
But
name. Yeah. I forgot her name.
yeah.
It's like, I mean, she's not admirable, she's a freaking murderer. She tried to kill Padme,
But
like
okay, so here's the thing.
assassinate her. Yeah,
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? So
yeah,
like it's like Darth Vader, right? You could think Darth Vader's cool,
yeah,
but it doesn't mean that he's a good guy.
yeah.
Like Anakin
Exactly.
Skywalker's a good
I,
guy.
he
I
used to
mean,
be
there's
a
just
good guy. Yeah,
right. Vader
yeah.
is not.
Not at all.
By the way,
Yeah.
I put it up there for you to check it out. But
Oh,
yeah,
I'll take a look at it.
it's pretty sad.
Oh, oh. It's like, this is an amazing story. Great,
Oh boy. Well,
great.
but yeah, I
That's
mean,
funny.
yeah, it's one of those things, right? Like, I think to your point, Star Wars is one of those things that it's always been progressive, I would say, for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
So I think when you start trying to input certain narratives, it's almost like you're maybe misinformed, I think is what I would say.
Yeah, it's an objective view on that, I think. Yeah. And again, you'd have to. I'm not, and I don't know why, Joel. It's like, again, that feeling that I feel like Kathleen Kennedy is just trolling us. It's like she's trolling the fan. Why do you have to do that? I mean, why? Look at what Marvel's doing. It's like a company within the same company that you belong to, and
Yeah.
and how well they engage the fans and all this stuff, and even movies that were preachy, like Captain Marvel, right? They're still enjoyable. They're still preachy, and but at the end of the day, it's fine. Whatever, it's enjoyable. But the MCU as a whole is not, right? So maybe they'll try and just move to a less preachy model overall and have the one preachy property, like like they want to have their Captain Marvel, and then leave the rest alone. I mean, I hope that that's the case. So
And even that movie is just a good movie that just so
yeah,
happens to
yeah,
make you feel empowered, you know?
yeah.
It's
It's like a super.
film first,
Yeah, it's
you
definitely a girl
know?
power movie. It's yeah, it's for a target
Dude,
audience. You
dude, and
know, it happens
I
to.
feel powered up when I see her go supernova, man.
It was pretty good. It had moments. It had moments. It's not my favorite MCU
Yeah.
movie, not by a mile,
I
but
think most people would
it had
say that, yeah.
moments. Yeah, but it had its moments. So Joe, one thing that we another announcement that we got on May the 4th is that Jedi Fallen Order is actually getting DLC for free. Um,
Massive.
Two things that got announced is basically that Jedi Fallen Order will be becoming a franchise that EA is looking to build upon. One big thing is that the Disney contract with EA, if I'm not wrong, expired in 2022.
Right.
I think they signed it on in 2012 for 10 years. So that means that they probably either extended or are working on extending that relationship. That's good. But until we see what this next game's gonna be like, we'll hold on that. I'll hold on to that until next time.
Well, if it's
But yeah,
franchising, they're continuing the story.
yeah, exactly. They're continuing the story. They may bring, I mean, like what they did, and we'll talk about it when we do the spoilers at the end. Um, they may bring other characters in from the universe, and that may be a great thing. Um, the DLC is interesting though because it's not story DLC. Basically, you do get the Inquisitor costume that you only get once in the game during a nightmare sort of sequence with a red saber. So you get that, and they have basically a challenge mode. So they have different challenges that you can meet, kind of like um, honestly the Coliseum on Final Fantasy VII, but I don't want to. I haven't gotten that deep on that Coliseum thing. But it's basically it's the Bloody Palace from Devil May Cry, basically. So where you got a series of challenges, uh, and I believe each planet has their own challenge, and you can build your own challenge, which I've already seen some crazy stuff out there. I've seen like all the Inquisitors and Jaro Tapal versus you. Yeah, try to get through that. But yeah, pretty cool. I mean, they're putting out there for free some cosmetic stuff for BD1, and yeah, it's overall pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool, neat update because like when you look at it, there's most of the stuff that we're talking about. It's like more of the bigger announcements, but I did like when I looked over kind of the list of what came out on Star Wars Day on May the 4th, it was like they really covered each base. Like it's like is there film side or TV side or gaming side? I'm like that's what May the 4th should be. I know there's been disappointments in the past where it's like doesn't feel as grand as others. No, we didn't get announced that we're gonna have this character known to be in here, but I mean, or have their game created a story around them. But there's definitely more very much promise to it, and Jedi Fallen Order is one of those games we'll talk about later on, but it's definitely promising.
Yeah, yeah, definitely for sure. Um, yeah, that's what we got for May the 4th. Jill, do you want to talk about Xbox?
Yes,
Let's talk about
we
Xbox
must do it.
because we really don't have any other. There were a lot of news that happened this week. But we want to talk Clone Wars in depth, and we want to talk Jedi Fallen Order in depth. So, um, oh boy, where do we start with this thing? Whew, man, so they hyped up.
Expectations versus reality.
Yeah, so they hyped up this event that happened this morning, right? They've been hyping it since last week. saying, "Hey, we're gonna have an Xbox third-party showcase," and not even third party, but they're gonna have their gameplay reveal of that was a
That,
big thing, right?
yep.
Of uh, uh of Assassin's Creed, and we're gonna show gameplay for a bunch of games, and please be excited, right? This thing, um, and we started watching it today, and it's like, all right, so the first two things that they showed were kind of duds. Dirt looks fine, like a racing game should look, I guess, but in by 2020 standards. Um, but then they just kept showing off like things that are not really of mass appeal. um the one game that to me stood out was the Medium. It's sort of a Silent Hill-ish horror
Yeah.
game. And they got the when the guy that was doing that was like, oh yeah, we're really excited about working on this project, and we're bringing in Akira Yamaoka for the soundtrack. I was like, oh man, Akira Yamaoka did Silent Hills, so that's cool. He's staying busy, been working on this thing, and more than likely that Silent Hill project that Sony Japan's working on, wink wink. So that's cool. And then they kept showing up stuff, and they showed like an HR Giger game, Scorn, that I later found out that the game was shown like 2 years ago with like a teaser trailer and never showed up again until now. um they showed one game that I thought the art design was really good. Was it called like Out by the Sea or something like that? uh
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I believe that was the name of it, and that looked really nice. Because no wonder I can't find the list because I'm looking on my wrong notes. It's like I'm looking for the list
Where
here.
is it?
It's like, where are you? Um, so we get up till the end, right? And I was like, oh, here we go, Joel, Assassin's Creed, Call of the Sea. They showed that game they showed at the beginning, Bright Memory Infinite. That's never coming out. It's like a single guy in China working on this thing. This game is never gonna come out. Why are you, this that trailer was as fake as the Killzone 2 trailer when the PS3 was revealed. That's as real as that trailer. This thing's never gonna come out, Joe. Why are you showing this? Um,
Ooh.
and then we wait until the end, right? So you know what? And then we get a game called uh, Chorus. It's like, all right, so Anthem, and now we get Chorus. Is like, okay, whatever. Which, by the way, didn't look bad. Like none of this stuff really looked bad. Scarlet Nexus looked pretty cool. That Flower Mutant anime game, that looked pretty neat. Um, I mean, other than that, nothing really stood out. But we get about halfway through the show, right, before we get to Assassin's Creed, and we're looking at this trailer, right? I was like, and you send me a message, right? Because we were working at the time, so you just send me a message on Teams. It's like, yo, this looks like a PS3 game, and I'm looking at this game. I was like, this game looks awful, and then
Like it would have been okay at that time, 2006.
it, like the, and so we were looking at this game, right? And the art design's really bland, and the character models are terrible, and even the movement in the characters is bad. It was bad all around. And then like before they showed up, I was like, oh, maybe this is like Vampire, maybe this is like Vampire, the Vampires franchise, or the Masquerade franchise. That's what I meant. So it turned out to be Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. And it's like, dude, I actually chuckled during that trailer, because it's like, this looks bad. I went back to, uh, how I feel about Kind of Funny. I'm not necessarily
You don't
fond
find them
of.
funny?
I don't find them funny, and it's not because they do they produce quality video game content. There's no question about that. It's just a personal matter that I have with the crew. I mean, you put two and two together. Um, I'm watching it, and Tim goes, it's like enhanced for Xbox 360 because he just, it's just, I mean, like The Last of Us One looked better than this game.
So ironically enough, that was one of the funny tweets I think I sent to you later on.
Yeah.
Was that someone literally put a side by side? They're like, "Look, yesterday we got like a reveal on current gen gameplay of The Last of Us 2. Today we get this thing that looks like it's from from not even next gen, not current gen. It's I don't know what's going on,
Oh my
man.
goodness, dude. Ah, I was laughing it up. Anyway, we get to Assassin's Creed and we were like, oh, here we go. AC,
I
we're
was
gonna
so hyped,
get
bro.
Valhalla. And we get a minute and a half trailer with no game.
Trailer,
It's a
exactly, a
trailer.
trailer.
And then we get an interview with the devs. Dude, and that's when the chat started going like I was watching it on the GameSpot stream first. I think you were on the straight like
I was on the
Xbox stream,
Xbox
right?
stream. Yep.
And I was like 5 minutes in there, and I'm looking at this chat going like, "Oh, we're being scammed! Holy crap!" And what is this? And it's like, "R.I.P. Xbox." And then I jumped over to the IGN side of things, and the chat was even worse. It was like super toxic. I was like, "Oh, this is great." And then they had the Xbox people, the guys that do the podcast Unlocked, and Sydney Goodman was there. She's like, "Oh, this is great, and this is amazing." And it's like I like Sydney. You know, it's a
No, no, it's not about
good
that.
looking
But
girl, and it
it's like
puts
they're
good
trying. They're
content. You know, it's
trying.
yeah.
They're
But
trying, but
then
it's not. It's
they
not
get
working.
to Miranda Sanchez, and she's like, eh, I feel like this wasn't like really good, and everyone's like, "Thank you, Ron." And then they actually got to Ryan McCaffrey, and he was like, I feel nothing kind of thing, you know. It's like there's but and then Sydney was like, "But come on, guys, what are you guys excited about?" And everyone's like, "Eh, eh." I'm excited about the July thing when they show Halo.
They started off the presentation, dude, talking about Halo Infinite's coming, and the guy literally says, "Get hyped! Halo's coming,
In July.
July."
Oh, oh, dude. Oh man. So at this point the chat's going like, "Oh my god, guys, why is Sydney not saying the things and everyone else is saying the things that, you know." All right. So it was very underwhelming, right? Because they hyped it up. And I thought we were gonna get like a 10-minute, you know, Assassin's Creed is like get this guy, right?
Yeah, a mission or
Like one of
something.
those quick, yeah, like one of those quick missions. Just like follow this guy, you know, one of those,
Yep.
you know, it doesn't have to be like super
Get to
spoilery
Stonehenge.
or yeah, it doesn't have to be any, you know, spoilery or anything. It's like follow this guy, hide in the bush, whatever, right? It had to be, you know, they could just put a you know, vertical slice of something. They don't have to, but they just gave us a minute and a half trailer that really showed like, yeah, it's in engine, but there's no gameplay. Like you did not show gameplay. That was not a gameplay trailer. Uh, Now I'm not gonna go back and say that this is that like that first game they showed, um, and Killzone 2 with a PS3, and say this is fake because it was an in-engine trailer of a game that's coming out this year. So, but at the same time, it's like why are you not like actually showing stuff, right? This was your moment. Um, I'm just baffled, right? I think Xbox has been riding a wave of goodwill for the last I want to say year, right? You know, they with Game Pass and all the changes and being upfront with what they're doing and announcing Series X early, and you know, show like at last E3 they had a little, you know, video, and then Game Awards. Like they've been riding a wave, right? And then getting like YouTubers into the Seattle office and show them the console and the controller and this stuff, right? Um, but then again, we go back to the same problem that the Xbox One had, which is like, yo, where's the games at? and coming out here is like, yo, get hyped for Halo, hey, in July. Yeah, Halo's got its fans, right? But when you look at the last two Halo games, they've underperformed compared to the previous in the series. Um, I'm not worried about Microsoft at the moment, but I do. So what worries me about this, right? And again, we're PlayStation. I'd say we're more PlayStation centric over here in Nolo time more than anything. But we do want to see, Xbox do well. We've rooted for Nintendo since the Switch launched. Basically, we covered it on the show, and then we've seen the success of the Switch. Um, I think this is Sony's opportunity to come in, and it's like, do you want games? Here's the games, and really come in strong and show content. Because I don't want to say Sony has been dropping the ball on messaging, because they haven't. There's things that haven't been clear because of the way Mark Cerny speaks. He sort of confuses people without the proper intellect for so he confuses the common folk with his uh you know uh with his high intelligence. So coming back, showing games, clearing up the messaging, Sony's got their chance now. Today there was a leak that Sony may go ahead and present the console itself on the PlayStation blog, not even a presentation, on June 2nd. We'll see. It's a leak. It's out there. Supposed leak by the same guy that's been leaking out stuff for a while now, and he's been pretty much spot on. So we'll see. But yeah, Joe, I mean, overall, it was messy, right, man?
So you know me, man. You know me well. It's no secret, Assassin's Creed fan. You know how excited I was for this. I was messaging you the night before, telling you like, look, I was messaging you the night before saying, look, like I can't wait for this tomorrow. This is one of the main reasons why I'm gonna even be watching this thing.
We were really excited for it, man.
I was that excited for it. I remember I wake up in the morning and I'm like, gonna get me Assassin's Creed gameplay. I don't care. It's at the Microsoft event. It's gonna be something that I can purchase on my PS5. I just want to see the game. Can't wait, right? And I'm like, maybe there'll be some other surprises. You messaged me that there was another thing you thought that was gonna be coming out there that was not out there. Um, early on we knew that it was gonna be third party only stuff. That was already disappointing, but like we weren't there because, oh my goodness, I can't wait to buy this exclusive for my Xbox Series X. That's just matter of fact. But I was there hoping to get some stuff for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That was going to be the thing that could have redeemed my time watching this thing. And I felt used. I felt like they promoted the Assassin's Creed Valhalla thing so much that you are going to see some Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay. You're going to see first look gameplay. You're going to get details on they told us on the game from this event. It was promised to us.
Yep.
And I was so excited about this. And I think they got a lot of viewership from people like me that are Assassin's Creed fans. That's where a lot of the people were there watching. I'm not saying that the Xbox guys weren't there too. I'm just saying that a lot of people were there for the Assassin's Creed. I think that's just, you can take a temperature check of what people were most angry about, and it was Assassin's Creed. And that's just because, again, that's what was the marketing factor for this event.
Exactly.
And when you come in there and then you only give us a minute and a half of whatever that thing is that I don't even care, that's not going to sell me anymore on this game. I already seen the cinematic trailer. And I was like, okay, cool.
Which was
I get
way
the
better
idea.
than this thing.
Way better than this thing. It was a waste of my time. I get this guy sitting down, director Ashmaf. They're sitting there talking about the game. He tells us that the game is going to be smaller in scale than Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So now I'm so now you just downsize the game. You just which by the way, yeah, I know some people complain about that with Odyssey, but Odyssey is one of the best well received games of Assassin's Creed in the last maybe 4 or 5 years. So
Yeah, I'd say
whatever.
I'd say in this generation
This
of consoles.
generation.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair to say. I agree. I agree. So for you to come out and do this, so it's like I got disappointment after disappointment, and then I looked. I messaged over to you. It's like I have no interest in being here right now. Like I'm not having a good time. I don't want to watch any more of this because I was like, there's nothing good that's
Man.
gonna. All the exclusive stuff's gonna be for this July event. They made it clear. The stuff that I am getting isn't gameplay of anything. Seeing these random, it's more so just announcements for some third party games, and then the game that we did know, Assassin's Creed, it was just, hey, here's some engine beauty shots. I don't want that. That's not. It's. I don't think anybody wants that. So, yeah, I'm not trying to go off angry because I try to have an objective view on it. And I tell myself I don't want to come in and just join in, and be like a team angry and just be angry because everyone else is angry kind of thing. I'm not that kind of person. I don't consider myself to be that way. I try and be more level headed. But when you start talking about that you're going to be having an event that's going to be a gameplay event and where the gameplay at, and then on top of that, you present it as something that you're going to get exclusive looks at Assassin's Creed specifically, and then you deliver us something that's just very cheap and unflattering. It's a I think it's a problem, and I think that this is something that hopefully message received. I think sometimes things can be
Yeah.
controversial. I
Yeah.
wouldn't even say this is controversial. This is flat out disappointment, flat out straight up results. I mean, the dislikes on this video is speaking, the comments on these things, the live chat. That I'm sure they were getting the feedback live and looking and going,
Oh
"Oh,
yeah, yeah,
people
yeah.
don't look too happy." I thought they would maybe shift gears and start talking about these games, and they weren't speaking very good at all. And you can't blame. I'm sorry, you cannot say, "Oh, these are all PlayStation fanboys who are coming in your purpose trying to swarm your thing." I think this is a genuine thing when you start seeing it trending on Twitter, you start seeing it pop up in other places. I think this is an unfortunate common thread because we're all pretty smart people. When we read something that says gameplay, that's what we have certain expectations, not
Yeah.
engine footage, not just beauty shots or announcement
Correct.
compilations. We
They
want to
have
see
to
a
show they
game play.
like the you know what was a gameplay reveal? The God of War reveal. When
Yeah,
God of War
yeah.
was revealed, that was actually gameplay. Corey Barlog was there, like actually playing the build they had. That was a gameplay reveal because the gameplay just exactly the same as that, you know, trailer or reveal they showed us. It was just exactly the same. That was a gameplay reveal, but this wasn't a gameplay reveal.
See, my
Uh,
assumption was when that sizzle and cut that it was gonna cut, and then all of a sudden,
a
hello
mission,
guys, I'm blah blah blah, and I'm playing this thing, and in this moment in
and
Assassin's Creed, our character blah 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 is in the marketplace. You know what I'm saying? I expect that, and then it cuts and it goes right to these guys
yep,
talking about the game, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what a waste.
that's exactly what I thought. Yeah, same thing. It's mind-boggling, man. I don't know. We'll see if Sony can actually capitalize on this thing.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. Joel, let's go ahead and jump into Clone Wars again. Spoiler alert: you've been warned for both the Clone Wars and Jedi Fallen Order. The last four episodes of the Clone Wars, Joel, meaning the two episodes before the last two, so the
The
last four
Lucasfilm
episodes.
Limited Productions.
Yeah, exactly. Those four episodes is the best Star Wars content we've gotten since Rogue One, and I hold Rogue One in high esteem. I really really like Rogue One. But this has been the best Star Wars content we've had. It, in my opinion, since Rogue One. Some people would probably say since Revenge of the Sith. Some people will say since Return of the Jedi because it was really freaking good. We've already talked about the first two episodes in this four part um section, but let's talk about the episode when Order 66 happens. Um, there's not a lot of dialogue in that episode. It was like a sense of like anticipation and this foreboding music that was going on, and not really a lot of character interactions. It was just a man. It's like something doesn't feel quite right, right? Um, we see Ahsoka go in to the meeting where it says there's a plot to destroy the Jedi. So that's the scene cuts there, right? In the theater, or the in Revenge of the Sith, and then Ahsoka walks in with her report. It's like, hey, we captured them all, and I did it as a citizen, and Yoda asked her not as a Jedi. She's like, not yet. So she still feels like she wants to be part of the Jedi Order, right? Um, which is great. But then we go see what Luke talked about in the Last Jedi, the arrogance and the hubris of the Jedi, that they think that in their power they were able to basically like police the galaxy. When Mace Windu goes to Ahsoka and tells her, uh, you know, Jedi business, mind your drinks, basically, kind of like what Anakin says in episode two. Um, and we see that, and the first thing that I thought, Joe, I thought of Luke from Last Jedi when Mace Windu dropped that line. But I also went back and remembered Mace Windu from Revenge of the Sith, when they denied Anakin the rank of master. And it's like, take a
Yep.
seat, young Skywalker. So I thought of that, and even going back to Phantom Menace, when they were refusing to train Anakin because he was too old and whatnot. So just up until there, Joel. What do you think? Well, what's your opinion on these things?
You remember in the last episode, I told you, I was like, look, the episode before that, I was like, which I really love. I love all this, but the last episode I mentioned to you is like, it's just about happening at the same time as what's happened with the Chancellor and that exact scene. I didn't think they would cut backwards. I thought it was flowing sequential, and this scene confirmed it. This was a very confirming where we are in the sense of the movies and the storylines. That was a confirming scene.
Yep.
And not only was it confirming, but also was making, validating rather, Ahsoka's place in all of this, and how important her role and what the story that's being told in the Clone Wars series is to the entirety of Star Wars. And it's moments like this that then go into other things that will forever change my perspective of these movies. I can say that honestly. I will not watch Revenge of the Sith the same.
Oh no,
I
I
will not
haven't
watch it the
watched
same.
it. I haven't watched it in a long time, and I'm really itching to watch it now, dude.
It's so good, man. It's
I
so
I think I'm gonna watch it over the weekend,
good.
because I've
It's
been
worth it.
itching. I've been itching. Um, I really like Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, I do
But yeah,
too. So I
yeah.
think that's the
Yeah.
importance of that scene, right? You have that connective tissue.
Now when you see when you watch Revenge of the Sith, it's like, oh, now Ahsoka's gonna come in and talk to them. Ah, okay. All right. All right. All right. So yeah, exactly. Um, and then we go over to Ahsoka, and basically saying goodbye to the Mandalorians, which have basically taken over Mandalore again, and we see they're bringing in Darth Maul. Oh, and she didn't talk about what Darth Maul said about Anakin, about him being the prospect for the next apprentice. So Yoda felt it, but she didn't say it. Um, and Rex asked her, "It's like, oh, you didn't tell him about Skywalker." I was like, "Oh, no, I'll maybe another time. I don't know, man." Uh, and then we go again. We go into the to the Mandalorians, and it was like we see Sabim's mom, and everything's back and working with the Mandos, and then um, they have this contraption from the old war, which is not stated, but I believe this is used. This is actually inhibits Force users from using the Force
Yes,
while they're encased
that is
in
true.
this contraption, and that's the reason why Maul can't just basically open it up and escape, and even while he's tied up when Order 66 happens, that's why he's still concerned because he cannot basically move. He's useless. He's forceless basically.
Not entirely though. Not entirely
I mean, you can
forceless.
feel that. You can feel
He
the
can feel
force.
the force,
You
but
can
he can't
feel the
harness
force,
the force.
except but you cannot use it. Yeah, you
Right.
cannot wield it. Yeah. Um. so that is a really cool design on that
Oh,
on
it's
that case.
great.
It was great. It was so good.
That's gonna be like art somewhere. That
Oh
thing, man.
yeah,
It's gonna be in many
yeah,
places.
yeah. So Ahsoka and Rex go back to Coruscant, basically. And Ahsoka and Rex have a heart to heart. Basically, you know, they're talking about they've known nothing but war. War. She hasn't known war since ever since she was a Padawan. She thought the Jedi were keepers of the peace, and everything she's learned is about war since she joined the Jedi. And then Rex is like, well, we're here, and that's all we've known, and
They're here because of the war.
because of the war, and Ahsoka, is like, hey, Rex tells her is I couldn't ask for a better leader, and I was like, and Ahsoka was like, oh, and I have a better friend. I was like, give him a hug. Everyone's like, give him a hug. But no, she salutes Rex, and then we get one of the other clones walks in. It's like, so we got a briefing here. I was like, oh, maybe more good news, and then it happens. Like they can both Ahsoka and Darth Maul can feel what's going on through the Force back in Coruscant. When Mace dies and unlimited power. And I'm so happy they left unlimited power there because
I love that
everyone
line. It's one of my
everyone
favorites.
knows that, yeah, and everyone knows the meme, and like just just reference the meme and unlimited power. I was also happy they left it there, and it's actually the clip from Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
I believe Anakin's voice actor did the "What have I done" at the end
Yes.
instead of
Everything but
Hayden.
that one part. Yep.
Correct, yeah, which was very spot on too, because it's like you'd have to be like really paying attention to notice that was not Hayden Christensen. So that was very cool when it happens, and then she goes, "Oh," and Darth Maul feels that he opens his eyes, like, "Oh crap!" And um, Soka goes to Rex, is like, and then as soon as we see cut back to Rex, execute Order 66. Um, yeah, and Rex is gets the order basically, and the clones that were with Rex hold Ahsoka up. Ahsoka's asking him what's going on, and then Rex manages for a few seconds to not go into full Order 66, and because of the relationship that he had with Ahsoka, and just basically it's like, oh, okay, so find fives, and then he shoots, okay, and then we got an amazing sequence with the Revenge of the Sith music, which we'll talk about it in a few minutes too. Again, um, it was great. It was great. Ahsoka escapes. Um, she sets Maul free, and to cause some chaos, Maul has an awesome like Star Killer / Vader hallway sequence, which was pretty gruesome for a kids show.
But is it a kid show?
It was
It just so
at one
happens to be
at one
kids
point.
friendly
At one
at
point, it
moments.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. What do you think of that sequence?
Yeah, I was gonna. I'm glad you brought it up because I was gonna bring it up as well in my analysis. And honestly, I do believe this is why you started it off when you were talking about how, in general, these few episodes together is on par with like the quality since Rogue One. There, to me, I would say this is the best Star Wars content that we have gotten since the Disney acquisition in general. And I'm not that's
Okay.
not slighting Rogue One at all, because I love that movie, dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that's my favorite of the live action new ones. It's in general how it was done. I think it's just a brilliant film. But I was even talking to someone else, and I was like, listen, just from an action standpoint, let's take the story out of it. From an action standpoint, we got the best Star Wars
Oh man,
action
yeah.
in this animated limited series than we've gotten in any of the recent films.
Yep.
Because just that hallway scene, I love the Darth Vader scene. I love that
Mm-hmm.
scene. But that scene with Darth Maul going down, oh my gosh,
It's
dude.
nuts, man.
I lost my chill, bro.
It's
I
nuts.
was like, let's go. Let's go. This is a pretty epic sequence. But even more, I think that scene was really, really epic for me. But just flashing back just a slight bit there to that moment you're talking about when, Ahsoka is, escaping the order, right? Oh my dude, when she gets surrounded by all these dudes and she's just deflecting everything and the music's picking up and you're
It's
oh,
really
and an
good.
emotional moment just happened and it just quickly escalates. Powerful.
It's
One of the
really
most
good.
powerful scenes, dude.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. Um, just to jump a little bit, Ahsoka finds some astromechs, and they go and try and find Rex. Well, they try to find Fives first, right? So
Yes.
she finds the Fives file and how he found out about
The
the inhibitor
implants.
ship
Yeah.
because it malfunctioned on was it Kix? Yeah,
That's from
and
season 5.
yeah, yeah. So they found out, that happened, and then that Rex had actually filed a grievance report, and the grievance report was locked. Um, but Ahsoka still do Anakin's passcode, and she was able to unlock it and view the reports and Rex saying, "Hey, this ship may I don't know what this is all about, but you know what, we're rolling with it, whatever." Um, and then with the help of the droids, she grabs Rex and uh, get him to the medical bay. We get a cameo from a medical droid from the old Battlefront games, not from. So we get a cameo from a medical droid from the original Battlefront.
Yep.
Um, but they can't find the ship, right? They're closing in. They can't find the ship. And Ahsoka uses the Force to get to the ship, and the way she uses the Force is the same way that oh man, the name escapes, but the uh uh I was gonna call him what's the oh man, Ib Man. So
Chief Fisto?
Ib Man, no Ib Man from Rogue One. Ib Man. I'm calling him Ib Man. Donnie Yen, his character.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my
I forgot
gosh.
his name on Rogue One, but she uses the same uh, mantra that he used to say. It's like I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me. She starts repeating that. Rex starts repeating that, and that was awesome. So that means that clones can actually feel the Force. It was great. They find the chip. Um, in the fastest brain surgery ever, they remove Rex chip, which I guess, I mean, small incision, fry the ship, you're good to go, right? Um, and I'm gonna talk about the ship here in a minute when we go to the next episode. But yeah, and Rex is like, oh, sorry, I like try to kill you, And Ahsoka asking us like, so who's got this thing? I was like, all of us. So you guys are screwed. Um, jumped over to the last episode when we last saw Ahsoka and Rex. They're able to get out of the medical bay. Maul destroys the hyperdrive in another Star Killer sequence. Joe,
I'm saying again, dude, the action that we got from this thing, he's using the force to fully pull in and bring destruction to this entire core of the ship, dude. And it's just unlike anything that we have seen for a long time. They did not hold back
no,
anything for this sequence. I can imagine how long, from an art standpoint, it took just to fully conceptualize what was going to be happening here.
I
There's a lot
know.
going on. It's very well thought through. It seems over the top, but it fits just right when you watch it,
It was
and
so
it
good.
is one of those memorable moments.
Man, that shot when the Venator gets out of hyperspace, like it's forced out of hyperspace and it's like smoking. It's like, oh man, dude, that shot was amazing, dude. Amazing. Um, so so Sorg and Rex are basically just going and trying to leave, and they get more clones, and Ahsoka is like, oh, set to stun. I don't want to hurt them. And then basically they open the uh, the
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 hanger.
hangar, and you see that all the clones are there. And I want to say something about Order 66 and the inhibitor ship, Joel. That the whatever programming was on on the chip for Order 66, um, the clones were like that was their priority. Their priority was basically kill the Jedi, and nothing else mattered because their own well-being and their own sense of subsistence just went away. Like they were willing to die to take a Jedi down. It was crazy, dude. So to the extent of the basically the magnitude of 466. Of course, we know that after that, you know, uh, a lot of the clones started, malfunctioning, and PTSD, and a lot of things started kicking in, and that's why clones were decommissioned after the Clone Wars, and the Empire started recruiting for their own army. And then Rex tells Ahsoka, is like, they don't care. Like, you don't want to kill them, but they don't care. They're willing to die if they can take you or me down. They don't care. uh and Rex, removes the helmet, man, and Rex is crying. It's like, man, freaking Rex. Which again, like when I saw those moments, right? Just wanting a live action like Ahsoka Rex thing. Mm, Joel. All right. So Darth Maul comes out, he tries to get into the shuttle, right? And before I go into Maul, Ahsoka says, I don't, they're willing to die, but I'm not gonna be the one to kill him. Her sense of justice is way, like, she was a true Jedi. Because meanwhile, Yoda and Obi-Wan was straight up murdering clones in the Jedi Temple.
This is an awesome sequence too.
Yeah, but they're like,
But in hindsight,
in
you're like,
hindsight, yeah,
whew.
like straight up murdering clones. Ha. All right. So Maul. Uh Maul was gonna die, dude. Like Ahsoka went for the head, and she was 2 inches short because she actually went for it. Maul just goes like this, force pushes her, and then the next scene, because I watched the episode again.
Oh, same.
And the next scene is like, oh, it's like she was gonna murder me. And then he goes and tries to escape in the shuttle. Ahsoka pulls a ray, starts trying to hold the shuttle. Um, and R7, the droid, gets shot. RIP R7. Um, and then Rex gets shot in the shoulder. And that's when she's like, I gotta let it go. We'll need to find another way, right? So they were able to actually get down to the second section of the hangar. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, when I saw that scene, because you were like spinning around, right? So basically,
Yes.
Ahsoka uses the Force to throw her lightsabers to the ground, spins around, spins the
Yes.
lightsabers, and cuts through the floor. When I saw that scene, it's like, man, she's Anakin's Padawan, because
100%.
he would be the only one crazy enough to pull a stunt like that, and she was so creative, um, and how she escaped this whole thing. It was, man, it was so good. So they're able to get down. The droids, keep shuffling the clones around. They
That
get
was cool.
caught. They get Gigi and Chip get murdered.
Which, dude, okay, just pause for a second there. Them dying, I literally audibly was like, ah.
Mm-hmm.
I not that I didn't see it coming. Like I totally
Yeah.
saw it coming. I didn't.
Oh yeah.
Like, they're not gonna survive the episode,
Yeah.
whatever. But like in a matter of however much time we've had between the last episode and this episode with these droids, minimal screen time, minimal interaction, you actually care about them because they're written so well. This is
Yep.
a testament, dude, to doing things right, to putting your story first, to putting your
Dio, we're
content
looking at
first.
you.
I mean, like that's how you do it
Dio
right.
was charming. Dio was charming. No, no, thank you. I know that's good. That was cute. But this droid should actually served a purpose. And it was great. It was great. It was really good.
100%.
Um, they find a Y wing that's actually working. They're able to escape. In a crazy like air sequence. Um, they're able to escape. Venator crashes in what I thought was Cepho. That would have been a cool like
Tie-in.
tie-in, yeah. Because the planet had snow, right, and kind of looked like Cepho from orbit. So oh, it's not Cepho. It's like, oh no, they crashed. It's not Cepho.
Also, when they first crashed, it didn't look that icy.
Correct. Yeah, because it,
Like
it looked
kind of,
like
yeah.
they well the correct, yeah, the planet looked snowy in like the
Yeah,
poles, like the middle. Yeah, you can tell that the planet had seasons.
seasons. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was like Hoth, always cold or something.
Correct. Yeah, it wasn't like like Hoth or Tatooine. Yeah. Um. So they crash. We see Rex with a shovel. It's like, oh no, they're burying them, right. And there they are, and there's Ahsoka and Rex burying whatever clones they could find. Jesse, RP Jesse. Uh, yeah. And then she had lost one of her lightsabers when trying to jump to the. Um, it's very quick, but you can actually see it when she loses one of the lightsabers when she's trying to jump in on the Y wing. Um, and she's looking at the clone helmets, which again there's a we'll talk about Fallen Order here in a couple of minutes. Um, but she looks at her lightsaber and she lets it go, and then time skip, which was really weird, Joel, because I was watching a lot of reactions on this episode as well, and not a lot of people caught that there was a time skip. It's like as soon as I
Oh
see a
no.
Lambda class Imperial shuttle, I know that at least 15 years passed.
And the troopers themselves are also, they don't have the exact same, the stormtroopers now. They're
Correct.
not
Yeah.
clones like that. They're stormtroopers.
Yeah. So you get snow troopers, regular stormtroopers. There's like the. I mean, as soon as I saw the shuttles, like, oh, time jump.
Right.
This is like at least 15 years in the future,
Right.
right? Um, and then we get Vader. So you can tell that you can see the wreckage, right? Looks a lot. It's you can tell that quite a few years had passed. At least 15 years had passed. Um, w- Man, Vader looks so cool though. Like they spend money on that cape. Spend money on that cape animation. Um, so you can tell that quite a few years passed. Um, the thing that got me um during the Vader sequence is that wow, like Anakin was actively looking for her because he had no reason to go to that planet. It's like a middle nowhere planet that had no inhabitants. There's nothing in that planet but just the wreckage. So he was actively looking for the wreckage of the Venator that she was on. So like he wanted to confirm that, which, but the way the episode ends makes you think that she thinks she's dead. We find later on Rebels how he censors her and the apprentice lives and all this stuff,
Fulcrum.
right? Um, so we find that out, but then he picks up the saber, and it's the Padawan saber, the first one that she had when the series began. Ignites just fine, and and we see the owl, Joe. With I interpreted, like, every time I saw that owl, I always thought of Qui-Gon. I don't know why. Um,
So,
but
so
yeah,
that's always been very connected to her. Like it's always
yeah.
been also very much associated to her that she's been very that being is very connected to the Force, and that's also been something that's very connected to her characters. When you get later on to Rebels, you
Hmm.
see that's around her as well. Um, yeah, so I think with that time jump part there, I think it's important to notice that, he's still in a state of hunting down remaining Jedi. Like, and there's a lot
Yeah,
of time that's gone by, which is why there's plenty of time for, games like Jedi Fallen Order and other things to fill in some more gaps that absolutely exist, Rebels, etc.
yeah.
Of there's a lot of hunting that's going on during that time, and so Vader's got he's killing off many Jedi, and so when he finds that wreckage and he sees that she's still alive, not alive, but he sees that she's believed to be dead, and that there's a burial site for all of these different clones. It's what better way to have that end than him look up, see that creature that he knows is very well connected to her. It cuts back down to a clone helmet and ends the series because let's face it, it's called Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and
Clone Wars ended.
and it ended, yes, and like you end it with a clone helmet. It's about the clones. Many other things, of course, involved, but the war of the clones, and that was the end of the war, and that was the end of that war, and the start of something new. But really, what a powerful moment.
That's
It's
so good, dude.
so good. I left satisfied. I know I had to sit, dude. I literally had to just sit and just let the music play for the credits and just sit there, dude,
Yo,
and just take it in.
how about the music in this last episode? Oh my
Oh, spot
god,
on.
dude. I don't
Spot
know.
on.
It was so good, man. Yeah, yeah. The music was amazing on those last two episodes. It was great. Great.
So the looking at the Ahsoka art, her with the hood, was such a cool look.
With a
That
with a
reminds me
gray hood.
the gray hood
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of the concept art that Filoni had put out on his social media of her with this hood. Obviously, it's Leap Forward, which is believed to be for for
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian,
Yeah.
right? But regardless, pretty interesting because I
Yeah.
think that's going to be her in hiding for a while.
Yeah.
Until it's obviously Rebels, we see where she goes, and Fulcrum, and they've
Correct.
totally rectified dude stuff in this series. Like there's Filoni is so on. I don't know if you watched the Disney Gallery yet, The Mandalorian.
I haven't. No. No.
So the first episode, there was like 30 minutes long, but they talk about Filoni at length because the first episode is all about the directors, and they go through all the directors. They hype up Taika a lot, which he's one of the last directors they talk about. Makes sense considering that obviously he's going to come into a project, but talk about Filoni and how like on set he's the kind of person that you like make one comment about something like, oh, I liked your character's shoulder pads, and then he's like, you want to know the history of it? And he just starts. He's that kind of
I
guy that just
know.
really is so big into continuity. So like
Yeah.
if continuity, so like if that's the case, it makes sense for him to be the guy to rectify things that maybe wasn't paid as much attention to. I'm saying he's saving Star Wars,
Yeah.
but he's kind of being a bit of an apologist in the series. So like the whole Fulcrum thing,
And I'm
that
halfway
we
through
did with
season 3 of Rebels, and after this, like I don't know what happens other than the twin sons because I did watch that episode.
it's
But
so good.
like I'm like episode 9, I think, on season 3 on Rebels.
Yeah, see, and once you get to that last episode, and you see where it leaves off. You're like, okay, I feel like that's the next project that I want from him. I want him to go back to Rebels and give us the next season of Rebels or whatever he wants to
He said
call it.
no
I don't
today.
care,
They
huh?
asked him today, and he said no.
Yeah, I mean, he's the same
Yeah,
guy that at Star Wars Celebration came out to us wearing a
Ahsoka
Ahsoka
lives.
Lives question mark. Then trailer comes, steps out, Ahsoka Lives exclamation point, and then goes back to the media and has changed back into the other shirt, Ahsoka Lives question mark. I didn't change my shirt. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
This guy's a troll. He
yeah,
knows what he's doing, but we love him for it.
yeah. But yeah, overall, amazing. Again, we got through those 5 filler episodes. That could have been 3. Um, and yeah,
If
it
I had
was
to
pretty
sit through
amazing
those
overall.
hard episodes to get that, it was worth it.
It was worth it. Absolutely, absolutely. It was great. Yeah, again, the last the best piece of Star Wars content in the last few years. So
And maybe we got to experience one of the most truest Jedis ever.
yes,
Never on live, never done in live action yet,
never, never done live action, and
and one of the truest Jedis we've
yeah,
ever seen.
absolutely. You see, what a great character, man. Like, yeah,
Yep.
like, and she really grew. Like, you can tell, like, there's a progression on her character that I wish Ray had in hers.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I could see that.
I, very much would love Ray to be uh, more like Ahsoka. Really,
Which I think Force Awakens sets it up well for it. And then when you start
yes,
getting into The Last Jedi and the lack of training and the certain things that does upset the fan base that I get,
yeah,
but I can see where it's a little bit disappointing and could have been a lot more impactful for sure.
yep. All right, Jedi Fallen Order, sir. We'll just cut to the meat on that because
Yep.
there's a lot of buildup. But um, how much do you hate Kashyyyk?
so so when you start getting to these like bouncy
Oh,
things,
okay,
whatever, dude, it seemed cool at first, like, oh, cool, these are not like actually meant to harm you, like these are things,
yeah.
whatever. But then you start getting these other plants that are trying to creep up on you and kill you. You start having all these other different random, slides and what. And then one of the other things I'll say about this game, and when I remember when I got finally to the Kashyyyk part, that's when it really hit me. It was like, I really don't like this about the game. I really don't like that you have to always physically travel back to the Mantis. Like I have to go adventure around all this
Oh,
map, and then it's like, okay, great. Now you gotta get back to the ship to get out of here. So I gotta go do
it's a
all this
hassle.
stuff
Except
just to get there. That
except
I
on
didn't like.
except on Kashyyyk, because Kashyyyk, once you get to the top of the
There's a
life
shortcut.
tree, there's a shortcut that you can take the bird. Also, that bird sequence was really cool, right?
That was so
When the
Avatar, bro.
Yeah, it
Got
was
Banshee. I was like, I'm at Animal Kingdom again. I've missed this.
it was yeah, it was cool though. It was a really good set piece. I
It was
really
cool.
liked it. Yeah, I really liked it. Um, yeah, but we meet Saw Gerrera the first time we go into
Yes.
Kashyyyk. Um, we go into some of the stuff that happened in Cepho in Kashyyyk. We're not like we're gonna be all over the place on this thing.
Yeah.
This is not we're not gonna be like a Clone Wars discussion. We're just gonna talk about the game because we haven't talked about the game. We just want to talk about it. Um, but yeah, yeah. What do you think of Seer and Grease? Grease was good. I liked him.
Yeah, he was cool. Like, because his character when he starts coming around to you, like at first he's
To
makes sense.
Cal.
Like he's concerned. He's
Yep.
like, why am I putting myself in all this? But then like he comes around to you and he's like, yeah, you're not too bad, kid. He's
Yeah.
he
Pretty
becomes a very
useful.
helpful, nice guy that really wants to see things go well and useful and
Yeah. Yeah.
drives the story in a charming way, adds a different personality. So
Yeah. Yep. Um. Yeah, that was good. And Seer, I liked Seer a lot.
yeah.
but she was very conflicted, and we'll savor the ending
Sure.
for later, but um she was very conflicted on what she went through
Yeah.
during Order 66 and all that. So I think that that really uh put her character in like a new way. Like she completely cut herself off from the Force just to avoid not getting killed, basically. And
And because
uh
she's upset she used the dark side is the only way she get out.
to get out, yeah, to escape the Inquisitorius. So yeah, um yeah, I like her character quite a bit. It was really well
Yeah, very
done.
mysterious. I like. I
Yeah,
appreciate it was different again.
yeah. What do you think of Gerald Tapal? I like that he was a Jedi Lasat,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was pretty rare.
Yep.
So yeah, and then everything that goes on, and again we get now that you've experienced two Order 66s in the last week,
Oh,
Joe. How do you feel about that? That sequence was really good too, right?
fantastic. So actually, IGN put out a post. I think it was yesterday, or maybe it was later than that. But they put out a post on their socials I saw where they actually had a compilation of movie Revenge of the Sith,
Oh,
Order
really?
66, Jedi Fallen Order, and Clone Wars, Order 66, like synced at the exact same time.
Oh,
Like, why are you
nice,
doing this to me? I love this, but why are you doing this to me?
nice, nice. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Like he also felt it.
Mm-hmm. He's
Jordan
able
Paul
to
felt
stop it
it.
before it was lethal.
Yeah, he felt it, and then the commander gets the call. Uh, Jordan Paul also straight up murdering clones, and he seemed like a very calm and collected master. Like he seemed like he was a very patient master. Cal being little like kid, like roguish kid, and but Cal seemed like when he was a Padawan, he seemed like he like really respected uh Jartapal and Yoda, and the masters. Um that was cool. Joe, the reveal when you go back to Ilum, what do you think of that? And
Oh,
you
bro.
found out that Ilum is actually Starkiller base now, and they're like they're
So that was a
building.
nice tie-in. I
It
thought
was
that was clever.
it was
Like they,
good, right?
yeah, this is like okay. This comes back to my argument of Star Wars needs new things, but not in the way you think, right? Like
Yep.
Star Wars, the new things have to come on the legs of what's come before. So you're
There's stories to
expanding the
tell.
mythology, right? There's stories that tell
Yeah.
things we haven't seen, but it's connected to what we have. And so I
Correct.
think that's my point, right? Like it's like a fun tie into again something that we know exists, but cool moment nonetheless.
Yeah, yeah. When you go back to Ilum and you see that they're actually the Empire is actually trenching, which means that Starkiller base was probably what they were trying to do before the original Death Star, and they
Yes.
found out that it was probably too much work, and went with the Death Star instead of Starkiller base. But it's when I got to Ilum, right, and I saw what they were doing to the planet. um, the only thing that I could think of is how evil Palpatine was. That every single site that that was sacred to the Jedi was like either destroyed or basically like desecrated, and it was like, man, Palpatine was really freaking evil, man.
Absolutely.
And that's the only thing I could think of, and because you see what's going on in Ilum, and then Jeddah, and then Palpatine taking the Jedi Temple and Coruscant as his office, basically. So all this stuff that's happening, it was crazy. Um, the messages that Cal was getting from Cordova, those were cool, because Cordova, I mean, allegedly he died in Order 66, right? Although he was more of a hermit Jedi.
Sure.
Um, you know, he was looking he was more of a servant of life around you know uh, what's going on around the galaxy. And then there's bits and pieces here and there, like when you're in Bogano, and things there feel like they're lived in versus like Cepho that happened a long time ago and all this stuff. Like maybe Cordova is still around, right? Uh,
which could lead to more
we
games. So,
exactly.
yeah.
But it was cool. It was cool. Like he was just giving you the clues on how to find the holocron and be able to open the vault. Uh, Going to Dathomir and then getting spooked
uh,
by the Night Sister. That I guess the only Night Sister that's left, based on what's
maybe.
implied in the game, right, and what we saw in the Clone Wars too, when General Grievous goes in and just straight up murders everyone, and Count Dooku. So I thought that her reveal as not completely evil was kind of weird, right?
I agree.
But I really liked her. When she was like not being spooky, it was like, oh, it's like she's like actually, you know, a nice person that's just been through a lot and all this stuff,
100%.
and she's just like resentful of, I guess, people with lightsabers. Um, and but I thought that towards the end, like she became a really good character and really grew on me.
So
Yeah,
I was one of those people that actually skipped around in the beginning where I stopped on Bagan. I was on Bagan obviously, but like I quickly jumped to Dathomir just so I can get my dual sided saber
yeah,
and then go back into the main campaign of what I was trying to do.
yeah.
So I skipped into that early purposely.
It's
So I
hard
did
if you go in early, man.
it is hard if you go in early
Yeah,
because I get to the Night Sister stuff, but then I'm like, I can't do stuff. Like I can't do anything because it's not a part of the story yet, which is something. But yeah, I mean, like I thought her character was cool. I thought it made sense if you're on Dathomir, you have to give us some type of other important character. It can't just be a cool land. So it was a cool way
yeah.
to make that land more relevant because it aside from that, then just becomes just a spooky place. And it was definitely definitely a place that I was like, well,
Some
you
spooks
know,
there. Yeah,
I play this in the middle of the night and I got no lights on,
yeah,
which is the most cinematic way to play. You're like, you definitely get the jump scares give a little more of effect. Like, whoa, wow,
yeah. Also in Dathomir,
hello there.
yeah, hello there. Also in Dathomir, um, you meet the guy with the most obvious bad guy name,
Oh yeah,
Taran Malikos, and I guess
he's
Taran
weird.
Malikos is well, he's a Jedi that basically just survived Order 66, right, and crash landed in Dathomir, um, bled his crystals, just so he could, blend in with the dark side atmosphere that Dathomir has, so he would survive, right? And then because he was stronger than the brothers, he basically like used that power to just have them do his bidding. Um, I think that was a good character that could have been explored a little bit better. I like how he dies though. That you actually like get to like bury him alive. It's pretty dark, but I liked it. It was good. That was a good lightsaber fight. I think overall the lightsaber fights were really good. I think the only one that I really disliked was Second Sister in the Venator. That was kind of hard
Yeah,
for
that
me.
was
That was
hard.
kind of,
Like hard to beat her.
yeah, that one. Not even the last one. Like the
Sure.
one in the Venator for me was harder.
Yeah, it was a strange one, but I think I upgraded myself so much that like it
Yeah,
was that's the trick. Like once you start figuring out how to use
yeah,
your force pull and force push and force freeze, like
yeah.
slow, like that was stuff that was messing me up early on because like I
You
wasn't
gotta
using
use it.
any of that and I
No, you
wasn't
gotta.
using my evading, so I was really just saying
You were devil may crying it, man.
yeah, I was like, this isn't, and I quickly was like, this is not strategic. This is not the way you play video games. Get yourself together
Yeah,
and start. And once you get in the habit of doing what you're supposed to.
yeah. You gotta use force and you gotta use the evade. You gotta master the parry if you
Oh
if you
yeah,
wanna
yeah.
if you wanna really survive. Yeah. especially with some of the harder bosses.
But the
Uh,
force push is really cool because like when I get to Kashyyyk, right, and it's like, and you
Everyone's on a ledge.
everyone's on a ledge, so I'm just like, stop there.
Yeah.
It's great. It's
Then when
great.
you get the big one where you get to charge it and use it on
Oh
multiple ones,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Malikos was an interesting one. The ninth sister is the one you beat in Kashyyyk
Yep.
at the top of the tree, right?
Yep.
Uh, that was an interesting character that really wasn't explored at all. Um, she was very secondary, but she was interesting.
But she wields a lightsaber, but she wasn't as important as you might think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she was an inquisitor, but she was probably like a low rank inquisitor. Like she wasn't really even a
Yeah.
threat, in my
No.
opinion. Like even when Cal kills her, it's like, oh my god, just
Just
kill an
pushed you.
inquisitor. Yeah, it's crazy. Um, so that was pretty cool. The reveal that that the second sister is uh, Trilla, Seer's Padawan. That was pretty good too.
Yeah.
And that's why like the second sister like really despises Seer and Cal because now Cal's with Seer and all this stuff. Um, so that was pretty good. I think Trilla was a great character, and she got a great end. But I think that overall, her character was really well done, really good.
I agree.
I really like, and she was like, because she was menacing as a villain, but you can empathize with her at the same time.
Sure.
It was really Magneto-ish.
Voice is great.
The voice was, yeah, spot on. The voice actress was really good for Trilla. It was good. It was good. I really liked her. Yeah. Um, yeah, we're almost out of time here, but let's talk about,
Spoiler end scene.
yeah. So let's talk about that ending. Um, so you beat Trilla,
Yep.
and Seer convinces Trilla that she's forgiven her, and she wants Trilla to forgive her, and go back. Um, and then you hear footsteps, and then what I love about what I love about this moment is the face of terror that she puts on. Like she's like terrified, and then you hear the breathing, and you know what's up. So it happens to be that Vader was in the Inquisitors, which by the way was awesome place, like
Yes. Oh
underwater.
yeah.
Keep the Inquisitors and torture Jedi's down underwater where no one can find you. It was great, dude. That place was crazy. Um, Also a lot of Clone Wars references when you're at the Venator, and some things that actually sort of like tie with Clone Wars, and how Ahsoka put the helmets, and there's something similar next to the Venator in Cepho. But so Vader shows up, jumps jumps behind Trilla, and just says, "You have failed me, Chris." So you made it here, no spoilers, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
good.
because I knew people were telling me that there's like there's this thing, and it was
Don't
specifically
look it
around
up. Yeah,
her,
yeah,
and I was like, I'm not gonna like no.
yeah.
I don't know how
So
I did it, but I stayed free.
good, good. So that was good then. Um, yeah. What do you think about how she got?
Oh, it was a great surprise because honestly, by this point of the game, I thought that there wasn't going to be no massive surprise, but really just set off in the sunset, happy ending. Like this is the part of the game where you all break free and you all run out into freedom and fight your way out of this to freedom, and everything's great. I
Yeah,
thought that was the way it was going to go.
yeah.
No, the boss shows up, and that's even better because you get a great. You also get to
Man,
fight Vader, which is even cooler.
for like a second.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get force choked real good.
Yeah.
But and that sequence was awesome. Basically Vader cuts Drill in half with his saber, tosses Seer off the ledge, and absolutely destroys the chamber. It was crazy, like how they showed his force powers and everything just crumbling up and breaking. It was amazing, dude. That sequence there was just so good. Um, the part, basically you get out Vader. Um, you're able to evade Vader. You go in, and then basically you get injured by Vader with your own lightsaber. But BD1 with the assist VIP right there, uh, really good. BD1 was a great droid too, so I
Great
really
droid.
liked him. Yeah, I really liked him. And then Seer rescues you, starts using the dark side against Vader, and Vader tells her that she would have made a great Inquisitor, and then uh, you know she refocuses and is able to use a force barrier against Vader's lightsaber, but they need to escape. So uh, at the end of the day, they're looking for this holocron, and then they're able to find the holocron, keep it. They get away from Vader with the help of the Night Sister, which by this point had joined your crew. And then Cal destroys the holocron. So very cool. I really love the game, man. Little
Yeah,
piece of canon there that is really good.
yeah, I think there's plenty to improve upon,
Yeah, absolutely.
gameplay wise. Like I like little things I mentioned to you, just like that's more frustrating than they are fun at moments. Um, but I think that what they gave us, like I kept thinking about it, and I was like, for a while we kept talking about like a really good campaign, Jedi story campaign game. Like we've been wanting this for a while, and so this game gave us a really cool experience. And thankfully, it's a complete game. It's a good game. So I look forward to seeing, if they are able to continue the story. Although I will say to you, Obed, I really did like my time with Cal, and I liked my time with BD1. I liked all of this
Yeah.
stuff, but I'm okay with getting a new character. I'm okay with going to the new. I don't think that's the way they're gonna go, but I actually finished the game, and I was like, I'm okay with getting something new.
Okay. Interesting. I think we're gonna keep hearing about Cal Kestis for a little bit more.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Um, I have a feeling because the game is used. The game is done using actors' likenesses. I
Probably
think
sign a
there's a real.
contract.
I think there's a really good possibility that we will get a Cal Kestis either movie or TV show,
Yeah,
which I wouldn't mind. I mean, he's a good actor. He proved it in Gotham when he played basically Joker in Gotham, so he was great.
it's true.
And his character here is really good too. The actress that plays Seer, she's out there too, and she's a great actress. I think overall, everyone can be, brought back and do something.
Surprise, that's Headland's story.
Dude, I'd watch that as much as I
We
wouldn't
don't know.
admit,
We
that
don't
I
know,
would.
man.
I would watch that. Yeah, there's someone with a lightsaber. I'll watch it. Sorry, that's how it
It,
works for me.
no, I mean that's the thing, right? Like as much as we complain, like I won't. We know, like we know. That's how they get us, man. And that's where the people versus George Lucas
Yeah,
documentary, when they start getting into like Star Wars as a product, right? Like that's definitely is a
yeah,
point to that argument for sure,
yep.
because it has become a product for us that we'll continue to buy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but overall, I'm looking forward to what the sequel will have to offer, and we'll see about that. Joe, we went super over, but let's go ahead and plug us in.
Yeah, no, low time had a lot of time today, but it's okay. We could have talked about things that were irrelevant,
It's
like new.
once in a blue moon, literally. I mean, there's like a blue moon or whatever
Yeah,
outside.
yeah, I
So
did.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we literally could have talked about all kinds of things: New Mutants going to video on demand, and
oh yeah,
Elon Musk having Tom Cruise in space making a movie. But we talked about Star Wars, and that's what we love, right? So it's all good. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to us here on No Load Time. We greatly appreciate it, and we welcome you to return. So go ahead and subscribe to the show. You can subscribe to the podcast version on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Spotify. You can also subscribe to the video version on YouTube. Make sure to go ahead and follow us on social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Also, make sure to send in your emails to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing some of your feedback. Maybe you've got some thoughts on the Xbox Series X gameplay or lack of gameplay event. We'd love to hear from you guys. But again, thank you so much, and we look forward to hanging out with you guys at our next episode.
Thank you guys. We'll see you again next time.